Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Ultraman Mebius. Now, this character comes from the 2006 television series, well, Ultraman Mebius, and I like it. It's not my favorite Ultra show, it's not as good as other shows like Ultraman Gaia or Ultraman Nexus, but still, as is, I still really like Ultraman Mebius. It's a very positive show. There's a heavy theming of like the power of friendship here, which at points I will say does get a little corny, but it's still really nice overall. I do like Ultraman Mebius, like the theming of it. That's kind of like the thing with Ultraman, like just, being hopeful, for the future and just fighting for a better future. And that's kind of like the whole thing with Ultraman Mebius here. Just a very positive show. And again, like a little corny at points, but overall, Ultraman Mebius I think is still a good show. I do like it, I like both the movies and the 3 Hikari specials. I like those. And overall, like, again, it's not my favorite, but for what it is, I still like Ultraman Mebius. One thing that I will say, something that I heard. Now, I don't know exactly how true this is, but the actor who played the main character, Mirai, apparently, I guess he was paid less than the other actors, which is very unfortunate if true. Again, I don't know how true that is, but if that is true, then yeah, no, that is very unfortunate. But, besides that bit of information, still, Ultraman Mebius is a good show. It's just a shame about Mirai's actor, but I digress. Anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long now. Let's just get into this. To start, we'll take a look at the paint, and the painting on this figure, I think, looks really nice. So, as you can see, most of this figure is casted in this red material, which I think looks nice, and all of the metallic silvers on this figure are painted very neatly. There are no paint defects or blemishes or anything like that, so I like that a lot. And all of the yellows here are painted nicely as well, like on the shins here and on the torso. And one thing I will say that I like about Mebius's design is that all of the reds here reminds me of like all of like the Showa era like Ultras. But then like you have like the yellow bits here that remind me of like newer Ultras like Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Gaia. And Dyna too, but still, like I do like that that like sort of mix between like the various like Ultra designs. I like that. His color timer here is going to be this transparent blue, which I think looks nice. And we have some painting here on his forearm, which again, like for a little bit like this, the painting here does look really nice. The eyes here are going to be made of glass, or at least like a clear plastic with a bit of white behind them, which I think looks nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. And overall, again, the painting here I think looks really nice. There are no paint defects whatsoever. Everything here is very neat, and overall, like, painting on this figure is really good. Definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is about on par with other SH Figuarts Ultramen that I've reviewed. So at the base of the head here, we have a little bit of a ball joint here. Not a lot of side to side here. It's mostly just looking up and down, which it looks up pretty good and looks down okay. We have a ball joint at the base of the neck here, so he can look even further down. The shoulders are on ball joints, so they can move 360 degrees and move outwards, like so. The shoulders are also on butterfly joints, so they can bend forward like that, which is always appreciated. We have a double bend in the elbows here, and the wrists are on hinge ball joints, so they can rotate and move like so. The upper torso is on a ball joint, as well as the lower torso. Mine's a little bit loose, like not loose, but it just doesn't feel as tight as the other joints here, which isn't a big deal, but just something I want to point out. The legs can kick forward about that far, and backwards about that far. And he can do the splits like so. We have a double bend in the knees here. The ankles are on like hinge joints. You know, like kind of like a little bit of like a pivot here. So it's kind of like a weird mix between like a ball joint and like a hinge joint. But either way, we do have a pretty good ankle pivot. And the feet can bend like that and move upwards like so. And lastly, the toes are on hinges, which again is always appreciated. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. Overall, I like it. I like the articulation here. It gets the job done. It's all it really needs to be. It gets a pass. Just like with other SH Figuarts Ultraman figures, this figure comes with a good amount of accessories, most of which being alternate hand pieces. So to start, we have a pair of thumbs-up hands. We have a pair of karate chop hands. Now, these are really small, so it's a little tricky to do this with one hand and get it into frame here. But we have a pair of open hands. We have a pair of extra open hands. And we have a pair of relaxed hands. Now, we do get other accessories. Of course, we do get a Specium Ray, which is always appreciated, and it looks really good here. We have an alternate color timer piece, which is a little bit more of like a process to do. Usually with the other SH Figuarts Ultraman figures, you just like pop the color timer off and just replace it with the new one. But here, you actually have to take off like a piece of the chest and then put it in, which isn't really hard, but I just cut my nails, so like it's kind of hard to do stuff like that. So for me, like right now, it's a little bit of a process, but I'm sure you would have a much easier time if you bought this figure. Lastly, we get the Mebius blade, which looks cool, you know, like it's like, you know, it's a thing that he used in the show, and yeah, it looks nice, you know. You just pop off the brace that's already on there and just replace it with the new one, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the accessories that this figure comes with, and it's everything you really need. You know, you don't need anything else. Like, everything here, it works. It's good. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt. And the sculpting on this figure, I think is pretty much perfect. I think this is pretty much one-to-one how Mebius looked in Ultraman Mebius, you know. All the proportions look good, you know, nothing looks too out of place or too, like, you know, big or small or anything like that. Overall, I do really like the sculpting here. I think it looks great. And overall, yeah. This is Ultraman Mebius from the 2006 show Ultraman Mebius. The sculpting here looks great. Gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure, I think, looks good. The thing with, like, Ultras is that there's usually not a lot of, like, detailing here. It's mostly just, like smooth, like, design. Like, with Godzilla and, like, Gamera, there's, like, a lot of, like, scaling. But with, like, the Ultras here, it's, like, mostly smooth, you know. We do have some detailing, like, here on the chest here, which I think looks good. And the detailing here on the, I think, Mebius brace, I think this is called. The detailing here looks nice, you know. And all, like, the detailing for, like, all of, like, the patterns and everything. Because, like, the patterns here, they are, like, they're not just painted on, they're, like, sculpted on, too. Which I think adds a lot of depth here. So, there is some nice detailing here, you know, that I think looks really nice, like on the forearms here and everything like that, you know. There's a lot of nice detailing. But, like, again, compared to something like Godzilla or Gamera, like, there's not going to be, like, a lot of scaling like those figures. You know, just, like, some detailing here on the back. And, yeah. So, overall, the detailing here, I think looks good. You know, again, there's not a whole lot to talk about here, but the stuff that is here is good. I like it. The detailing here, I'd say, gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. To start, here we have the SH Figuarts OG Ultraman. Here we have the SH Figuarts Ultraman Tiga. Here we have my previous SH Figuarts Ultraman review. Here we have the SH Figuarts Ultraman Blazar. And of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. And here we have Dr. Whoops. Dr. There we go. Dr. Billy Grant. And as a little bonus, here we have a copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza. You guys better be playing this game, by the way. It is phenomenal. If you're not playing this game, like, what are you doing? Go play it. Click off this video and go play Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is too good to ignore. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I'd say yes. I actually really like this figure. I think the painting looks nice, the articulation's great, the sculpt, the detailing, everything here I think is done really well. And accessory-wise, this figure comes with everything it really needs. So overall, this is a really nice figure, and I do recommend that you pick this one up. As far as price tags go, I got this guy from Big Bad Toy Store, and I paid about like $75, $76, something like that. And I think that's an okay price for this guy. You know, if you can get him cheaper, that'd be great. Like, if he's, like, on sale, then absolutely go for it. But even as is, like, it's still not a terrible price. So, overall, yes, I do recommend that you pick this figure up. It is a very nice figure. That being said, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.